everyone, and welcome to another episode of Whisking Away with Diana J. I'm Diana, and today I am so excited because I'm going to show you how to make delicious homemade granola. Yes, I went to the store. I think last year I started making this homemade granola. I was like, oh, I'm in the mood for some granola to sprinkle on top of my yogurt. I was like, oh my god, do they want $6.99 for this small pack of granola? I was like, absolutely not. We have to figure out how to make it. And then I tested out a couple of recipes, and bada bing, bada boom, homemade granola. And I'm gonna show you how to make that, guys. It's so simple. You could use it to sprinkle on top of yogurt for like a, what is it, parfait. You can use it as snacks. I'm telling you, it's very dangerous if you leave it on top of your counter in a drawer. Next thing you know, it's like gone in like a couple of hours. Ask me how I know. It's absolutely delicious and versatile. So if you guys are ready to make homemade granola, stick with me. But first, let's get our aprons on and let's get baking. Okay guys, so let's get started. So like I said, this recipe couldn't be any easier. So we're going to use the egg whites from 2 eggs. To just dump that in the bowl. To that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of honey. I'm just gonna eyeball it because trying to put honey in like a measuring spoon and trying to measure it and dumping it out, it's annoying. You can rub a little oil on the spoon to make it easier to come out, but why? When I can just eyeball it. Easy peasy. Then I'm going to use 2 to 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Use about 1.5 tablespoons of good vanilla. And then for the start of the show, I'm going to use Old Fashioned Oats. I'm going to use about 2 cups of it. Sometimes I like to use a little bit more, but I find that 2.5 cups are pretty good. So, okay, so you actually want to mix it before you put the oats in there. I didn't do that, but that's okay. If you forget like me, you could just do it while it's there. It'll still be fine. You just want to make sure that the oats are coated completely with the egg white mixture. At this point, you could use whatever nuts you like. I usually like to use pecans or crushed almonds, but my favorite are pecans. It just, when it coats with some of that sugar and vanilla, it tastes like almost like a candied pecan. It's really delicious. So I'm gonna put about 1/2 cup of that in here, and then I'm just gonna put a pinch of salt. You do not need. Literally just want a pinch. The salt is just going to enhance the flavor. Just a pinch, just needed. Oh, I almost forgot. I like to add some flax seeds in there. Great in fiber. If you want, you can add ground flax seeds, but these are whole and they'll toast really nice. So I'm just going to put about 1 tablespoon of that in there. You don't want too much. Well, maybe you do. Whatever you like. Okay, so I just kind of wanted you just to see what it's going to look like when it's coated. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's very like glistening. Okay, you can see everything is coated with the egg white mixture. So now I just have a pan with a piece of parchment paper on there. You do not need to use parchment paper. I just don't like messes. It's just easier for me with the parchment paper, but you do want to have something that has some sort of rim, I guess, on here or on one of the corners. I'll show you why. We are going to flip it midway, and it's just easier to get the spatula across here. This one is just canola. And you definitely want to use a little bit of it if you're just using the pan. Again, you can just use a non-stick baking pan. I just don't want to. And then you want to evenly spread it. Of course, like always, I always forget to preheat my oven. Preheat your oven at 370 degrees, folks, before you even start. So I'll just explain to you the process. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this bad boy into the oven for a total of 14 minutes. However, halfway through, so about 7 minutes, we're going to add some raisins and cranberries. You can add just raisins, you can add just cranberries, or you could not add it at all. You still have to take it out a halfway mark to stir it. I'm not going to do it at this point before I put it in the oven, because if you put the cranberries or the raisins in there, it's going to dry up, and by the time your granola is done, the cranberries and raisins are going to be like this crunchy hard texture. It's not very appetizing, so it'll just behoove you to do it midway through. So then you're gonna pop it back into the oven for about 6 to 7 minutes. And then at that point, I'm going to add some, what do I have? Coconut flakes on there. If you're not a coconut fan, you could totally leave it out. But I'm gonna add some coconut flakes on there. Mine's is sweetened, you could do it unsweetened, whatever floats your boat. And then you're done. You're gonna let it sit and dry. As it dries, it will harden a bit because it may be a little bit sticky at first, but just give it about 15 minutes. It will harden, and then you have your delicious granola. Simple. All right, so the timer went off, so we're about to take it out of the oven. It smells so good. Make sure, yes, you put a timer on because it's so easy to just forget it. Okay, I'm gonna pop this back into the oven for about 7 more minutes. And I'm using the top rack. All right, so the granola is done. As you can see, in a bowl, I added some yogurt, the homemade granola, and I sliced up some apples to make me a little parfait. And let's do a taste test. Well, I've been munching on them, so I already tested it and it is good. But I'll taste it with the, I'm gonna try it with the yogurt and with the apples. It's actually gonna be my lunch. It's so good, guys. Before I go, I wanna show you how I store it. So I usually have a glass bowl, and this is why I like the parchment paper, because I'm going to show you how simple it is to transfer it to your storage container. Hold the other end. So you have it like this, and all you do is dump. Look at that. Easy peasy. I'm all about the easy peasy. Simple. After it cools, seal it, leave it on your counter. You'll love it as a snack. I'm telling you, it'll be gone within a few hours, but you'll love it as a snack. Double the recipe. Sometimes I triple the recipe because I know it's usually like we eat it so quick here. But thank you guys so much again for whisking away with me, Diana. Have a good one.